As I showed you, it's very easy to add filters, but what makes filters interesting sometimes is that they change over time. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Bloomies. I'll double click it. I'm going to clear the I'm just going to actually grab just this portion of it, and I'll just throw it in as an insert. Okay, there it is in my timeline. As I said, to edit it, I need to edit just this instance of the clip. I need to double click it and load it back into the viewer so it's the active window. And then I'm going to go back to that bloom filter I was looking at, called this last bloom. And you can see that the filter is on all instances of the clip as I drag it around. What I want it to do though is kind of a cool effect where the clip starts with no filter on it, and then over time it progressively gets more and more intense till the entire frame is washed out. Okay. What this is going to include is your first attempt at doing what's called keyframing, or changing the property of a value or an attribute over time. So watch closely how I'll do this. I'm going to double click this clip again just to double check once again that I'm editing on just this instance of the clip. I'm going to go to the filters tab, okay, and I'm going to move my windows around a little bit so you can really see this. But when I drag this side of the filters out, you'll notice that there is this light gray area, okay. That light gray area represents the actual clip that we're working on. And when I follow these green lines over, you'll notice that they go to different amounts, controls like I showed you before that control those individual filters. So if I change the amount slider, I should see a change in my window over here. And I'm going to try to find the one that really has the most intense value. Wow, it looks like it's threshold. You notice how when it starts with nothing and then it comes on, it totally whites, it flashes to white the entire frame, but it doesn't do it just with the color, it kind of blends through, right? So I want to animate that so that it doesn't just happen, you don't just see this, but you get to see this cool change that's happening over time. Okay. Notice that as I grab the slider, the little green line over here goes up and down. Okay. That green line represents the amount value, right there, of that property. Okay. Notice these little row of buttons. Okay. You've got these little circles with the little triangles. Okay. That's where you can insert or delete a keyframe. All right. Now the way animation works is you have to remember basically three things. One, you want to have the playhead at the beginning of the clip, okay? And you're going to set a value at that beginning of the clip. So I have my playhead at the very beginning. Two, I'm going to tell it to keyframe that value. So I'm going to say, great, keyframe it. See the little green dot? When that's green like that, that tells me that yes, okay, I've set a keyframe. And there is my keyframe. You can see it. It's kind of hard to tell in this picture, but it is actually at the first frame of that clip. You can see because when I move the playhead, right, I move my playhead and it snaps back to the beginning of the clip. I'm on that first frame. Now the third thing that you have to do to get an effect to change over time is move time. So first I put my playhead at the beginning. Second, I set a keyframe. Third, I'm going to move time. Okay? That's me moving time. Now it's going to be at the end of the clip. The fourth thing I do is change the value of the clip. Now I'm going to take this 100 and I'm going to bring it to 0. Okay? Notice how it instantly put in another keyframe for me. I didn't have to click the button to do that. Just by changing the value, it adds another keyframe. And now I've got this line that goes down the road, starts at 100 and goes down to 0. Well, look it. What the computer is able to do is do what's called interpolation. It figures out how this effect is going to change over time. And watch as I look at it. You see how the colors get progressively more and more crazy? Okay? So just like that, I'm able to add a filter to a clip and have that filter change over time. It looks very cool. Now what could I do if I wanted that to happen faster? Well, I can just change the amount of time that happens between these two keyframes. If I grab this green dot and I slide it closer towards the middle of the clip, notice how fast that change happens now. Okay? That's much quicker than where I had it before when I dragged it to the end of the clip. So quickly what you're seeing here is that the distance between keyframes affects the rate of the filter, how fast that filter comes on. Okay? This keyframing is a really important concept because as you can see there's lots of things that I can keyframe, not just the amount, brightness, threshold, and horizontal line of a filter, but if I click on the motion tab, all the properties within the motion tab, which we're going to play with in a little bit, are also keyframeable. So understanding how to set a keyframe and have it change over time is key to doing some fun animations and filterings. So right now let's try and get a filter on a clip and put it in your timeline so that it changes over time. You can choose any one of the filters you want, but I want to see that filter change over time, not hold the value for the entire clip. Alright, have fun.